Hello, it's Leslie here. Today I'm going to review these two lights here, the Bontrager Ion and Flare. I originally bought these because I wanted something to run when I was out riding during the daytime. And I mainly bought this for the front light. So, because I already have a rear light, but I thought I might as well just get the set. And because I have several bikes, I thought, well, I won't be changing the lights from bike to bike so much. So I wanted these for daytime lights, because I do think that we as cyclists are more visible when we put lights on. You know, a lot of cars and everything and motorbikes have running lights, daytime running lights. And these are so small these days. Technology's come a long way, and they're actually pretty diminutive to put on your bike. You know, they're very small. I was surprised how small they are. You know, you don't really appreciate how small they are until you get these. So I got the full name of this is the Ion 100R for the front, and the Flare R City for the back, the rear light. I prefer the design of the 100 um, than the 200. This isn't the latest model that you can get. So I like this model. I think this model is more, it's a nicer design. It's a little cube. The newer model, it might be brighter, but that's not the only thing I care about. So I like the cube nature of them. The other ones are a little bit shorter and taller, and they kind of look like they belong on a train or something. So with these lights, I was actually quite surprised how lightweight they are. Uh, First, I'll talk about the actual. I'll talk about the weight later. Uh, it surprised me how bright they actually were. So I went for a ride today, a short 20-kilometer ride with this one in the front, and it was kind of a couple of hours before dusk, and I could see, maybe 100 meters down the road, this blinking lights in the road signs, and it was coming from this light here. So it's like, I think the range is pretty good. It's probably 200 meters at least range from this little light. It's quite surprising how bright it is for the size of it. It's not the brightest light in the world, but for the size of it, it's very good. So I also own a couple of Sigma micro lights, I think they're called. I just tried to find where they were. One's on my bike outside, but you can easily find out what that one looks like. Sigma micro compared to the Sigma micro light, which is another small light. These things here are way brighter. So I was really happy with the brightness. Uh, the instructions are okay. Look at the instructions. When you look at the instructions, you really realize how professional they all are at Bontrager Trek. What I found difficult with these lights were the modes, and other people have said about it's tricky to know what mode you're in. I wouldn't say it's tricky to know. I mean, obviously, if you're looking at a steady light, and then it goes dimmer, you can tell that it's dimmer. I found it tricky to know when it's in the auto brightness mode. So if you want to enable, first off, auto brightness mode is enabled from the factory. If you want to turn it off, you hold down the power button for 8 seconds. So I didn't originally know that came from that way from the factory. So I wanted to turn that feature off. So if you want to turn that feature off, I recommend just turning it off and then not worrying about it. But it's difficult to see the auto brightness feature work unless it's dark. So I wanted to turn that off so that I have the brightest lights all the time, whether it's day or night. yeah, so it's a little bit, I found it a bit tricky to change, to know what mode you're in. Not to change the mode, it's easy to change the mode. To do that, to change the auto brightness mode, you hold down, you hold down the power button for 8 seconds and then it will blink once. The trouble is it blinks once whether you've turned it on or off, so you don't know whether it's on or off. It would have been nice if they had have set it so that it blinks twice if it was on, or and once when it's off, or vice versa. Just something to differentiate when it's on and when it's off, because you've got to really look and see if it's dimming to know whether that auto brightness feature is enabled or not. So, yeah, I was surprised with how bright they are. They're very lightweight. I do think that the let me just pull it off. The weight of the band is actually, it's pretty heavy. The attachment, it's pretty unwieldy for the size. Here's the light, and here's the thing: the actual attachment point for the size is pretty bulky. It'd be nice if it came with a helmet mount or something like that. So the rear attachment is slightly different. So one of them, the one with the little brass insert, is the rear one, and that's it's angled so that it's angled so that it shines out horizontally from the back of your bike. Another thing I noticed was that I have a bunch of micro USB cables lying around, and I just picked up the first one that I had. I wasn't sure if it's the original one from Bontrager or not, but it gave me no confirmation when it was charging. All I could tell was that it was hot and, well, not hot, but warm, that it was recharging. So I went and dug around for another cable. That's fine, a little red light comes on when it's recharging, but if you use the wrong cable, there's no feedback when it's recharging. As for the waterproof feature, I can attest that works. I went today, and it was kind of looking a bit thunderstormy, and I hadn't been for a ride for I missed 2 days. I missed out 2 days, so I thought, I'm going. I don't care if I get rained on. And I thought, oh, it's just bluffing. The weather's just bluffing. And so halfway into the ride, it started sprinkling. And it went real dark. And then it started hailing, a little bit of hail, like 2-3 millimeter pieces of hail. And then within 5 minutes, there was this first off, the lightning started coming as well, and I was a little bit worried. I thought, oh, I hope I don't get struck by lightning. And yeah, and then this massive hail just came down, maybe centimeter. It's not that big, but I really got belted up by all this hail today. So I actually had, welts on my arms from where the hail was bashing into my arms. So I had to stop and get under the safety of a tree. I couldn't actually ride, so the lights were fine. They're all fine. They didn't miss a beat, so that's good. So yeah, 2 trees fell down where I was today, so I was a little bit. It was very odd ride, because it just got so windy all of a sudden, and I couldn't cycle anymore. Not through the wind, just the hail was bashing down on me, and I was worried that my Wahoo screen was going to break. That's how much hail was coming down. So with the lights, it'd be nice if if you have a feature where you can see what's the auto brightness mode or not. But I'm really happy with them. I've only had them for a few days, and itty bitty little lights. I had a track light, 20, 30 years ago, and compared to these things, that one was really, halogen thing with C-size batteries. They've come a long, long way, and now I don't think there's any excuse for people, not to have a light on your bike during the day. That is so small. I'm actually thinking of buying 2 sets of them and have 2 at the front and 2 at the back, because they're not. I don't think they're that expensive for what they are. So, so I'll turn them on, and you can see that I've left it on. That's the flash that I've left it on. You have to hold down the button to turn it on and off. So then you just it's a single press to change modes. That's the bright mode. It's dimmer. Dimmer still. Now I think there's 2 flashing modes with this one. I chose this one. I think it's a very visible flash pattern. So it doesn't just go blink, blink, blink. It's got a melody to it. So I'll put it back to, yeah. That's that one. And the rear one, this is the steady. No, this is another flash mode. So that's the steady. That's less bright. And you have two flash modes. So turn that off. Hopefully I don't have to change them anymore, because you do have to cycle through them. But I recommend these little lights. It's not so much a review, this video, it's a recommendation. So yeah, alright, well that's, oh, the other thing is, yeah, I'm probably doing a review of this light next. This is the Lezyne laser drive. So I also have that one. It's a bit harder for me to review this one though, because I haven't gone for rides at night. So anyway, so that's all I have time for today. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks. Bye.